Did you know that 75% of couples who believe in soulmates end up dissatisfied with their relationships? It's shocking, but true. The idea of the one can actually harm your love life. Relationships are filled with myths that many of us accept as facts. But what if these myths are actually hurting our chances of happiness? In this video, we're diving into 6 common relationship myths that psychologists have debunked. We'll reveal why thinking love conquers all can be misleading. You'll learn the real deal behind happily ever after and why it's not as perfect as it sounds. Ever heard that opposites attract? We'll show you why that might not be true for long-term relationships. You'll also discover why going to bed angry isn't always a bad idea. And we'll bust the myth that people can't change. By the end, you'll have a clearer, more realistic view of what makes relationships work. Stay tuned to learn the truth about these relationship myths. Your love life might just thank you. Chapter 1: The Soulmate Fallacy, Why the One is a Dangerous Myth. Many people believe in the concept of a soulmate. This idea suggests there's one perfect person out there for everyone. However, psychologists argue that this belief can be harmful. Dr. John Gottman, a renowned relationship expert, explains that successful relationships require effort and compatibility, not just fate. In fact, research shows that believing in soulmates can lead to higher rates of relationship dissatisfaction. The idea of the one can create unrealistic expectations. It can make people think that a perfect relationship will have no conflicts. But every relationship has its ups and downs. Dr. Sue Johnson, in her book Hold Me Tight, emphasizes that love is about building a deep emotional connection. It's not about finding someone who meets an ideal standard. A study published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that people who believe in soulmates are more likely to give up on relationships when problems arise. They see conflicts as signs that their partner isn't the one. This mindset can prevent couples from working through issues and growing stronger together. Instead of searching for a soulmate, focus on finding someone with shared values and goals. Compatibility is key. According to Dr. Helen Fisher, author of Why We Love, couples with similar values are more likely to stay together. They can navigate life's challenges as a team. Another problem with the soulmate myth is that it can lead to a lack of effort in relationships. People might think that if they found the one, everything should be easy. However, relationships require continuous effort and communication. Dr. Terry Orbuch, author of 5 Simple Steps to Take Your Marriage from Good to Great, highlights that regular positive interactions strengthen bonds. Believing in soulmates can also lead to unrealistic comparisons. People might constantly compare their partners to an idealized version of the one. This can create dissatisfaction and strain. Dr. Gary Chapman, in his book The 5 Love Languages, explains that understanding and meeting each other's emotional needs is crucial for a happy relationship. Chapter 2: Love Conquers All, The Truth About Love and Conflict. Many believe that love can conquer all. However, psychologists argue that this isn't entirely true. While love is important, it's not a magic fix for every problem. Dr. John Gottman, in his extensive research, found that successful couples use effective conflict resolution skills. Conflict is a normal part of any relationship. Dr. Sue Johnson, in her book Hold Me Tight, explains that how couples handle conflict is crucial. Avoiding conflicts or pretending they don't exist can be harmful. Instead, addressing issues openly and respectfully is key. A study in the Journal of Marriage and Family found that couples who use healthy conflict resolution strategies are more satisfied in their relationships. These strategies include active listening, empathy, and compromise. Love alone doesn't resolve conflicts, effective communication does. It's important to remember that disagreements don't mean the end of a relationship. Dr. Helen Fisher, in Why We Love, points out that all couples have differences. What matters is how they manage these differences. Successful couples view conflicts as opportunities for growth. One effective strategy is to use I statements instead of you statements during arguments. This approach reduces defensiveness and promotes understanding. For example, saying I feel hurt when you don't listen to me is more constructive than you never listen to me. Dr. Gary Chapman, in The 5 Love Languages, emphasizes the importance of understanding each other's emotional needs. When conflicts arise, it's helpful to remember your partner's love language. This can foster empathy and connection during difficult times. Another useful approach is to take breaks during heated arguments. Dr. Terry Orbick suggests that stepping away for a few minutes can help partners cool down and think more clearly. This prevents arguments from escalating and allows for more productive discussions. Chapter 3: Happily Ever After: The Reality Behind Relationship Perfection. The idea of happily ever after sets a high bar for relationships. Many think that a perfect relationship is free of problems. However, psychologists argue that this expectation is unrealistic and can lead to disappointment. Dr. John Gottman, in his research, found that even the happiest couples have conflicts. The key is how they handle them. Believing in a perfect relationship can make people overlook the hard work it takes to maintain one. Dr. Sue Johnson, author of Hold Me Tight, emphasizes that building a strong relationship requires continuous effort and understanding. It's not about perfection but about connection. A study in the Journal of Marriage and Family revealed that couples who believe in happily ever after often feel dissatisfied when they face challenges. This dissatisfaction can lead to higher breakup rates. Instead, understanding that every relationship has its ups and downs is healthier. Successful relationships are not about being perfect but about being adaptable. Dr. Helen Fisher, in Why We Love, notes that adaptability and resilience are crucial for long-term relationships. Couples who can navigate changes together tend to stay together longer. Perfection can also stifle growth. When couples expect everything to be perfect, they may avoid addressing issues. Dr. Gary Chapman, in The 5 Love Languages, suggests that understanding and addressing each other's emotional needs is more important than striving for perfection. It's essential to focus on growth and improvement rather than perfection. Dr. Terry Orbick, in her book 5 Simple Steps to Take Your Marriage from Good to Great, highlights the importance of setting realistic expectations. This approach fosters a healthier and more satisfying relationship. Couples should embrace the idea of growing together. This involves learning from mistakes and celebrating successes. According to Dr. John Gottman, couples who view their relationship as a journey, not a destination, are more likely to thrive. Chapter 4: Opposites Attract: The Misconception of Compatibility. The belief that opposites attract is widespread. However, psychologists argue that similarity in values and interests is more important for compatibility. Dr. John Gottman's research shows that couples with similar values have more stable relationships. Opposites may attract initially, but long-term compatibility requires common ground. Dr. Helen Fisher, in Why We Love, explains that shared interests and values create a stronger bond. This bond helps couples navigate life's challenges together. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that couples with similar personalities and values reported higher relationship satisfaction. Similarity provides a foundation for understanding and cooperation. While differences can be exciting at first, they can also lead to conflicts. Dr. Sue Johnson, in Hold Me Tight, points out that major differences in core values or lifestyles can create tension. Couples need to address these differences constructively. One strategy for managing differences is to focus on mutual respect and understanding. Dr. Gary Chapman, in The 5 Love Languages, emphasizes the importance of respecting each other's differences. This approach fosters empathy and reduces conflict. Couples can also work on finding common interests. Dr. Terry Orbick suggests that engaging in shared activities can strengthen the bond. This helps build a sense of teamwork and shared purpose. It's also essential to communicate openly about differences. Dr. John Gottman advises couples to discuss their values and expectations regularly. Open communication helps prevent misunderstandings and ensures both partners feel heard and respected. Chapter 5: Never Go to Bed Angry: The Misunderstood Advice. The advice to never go to bed angry is popular. But psychologists suggest it's not always practical. Dr. John Gottman, in his research, found that taking a break during conflicts can be beneficial. It helps partners cool down and think clearly. Conflict can escalate when emotions run high. Dr. Sue Johnson, in Hold Me Tight, explains that pausing a heated argument can prevent hurtful words. This break allows for a more productive discussion later. A study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family found that couples who take breaks during arguments report higher satisfaction. They feel more understood and less overwhelmed. Cooling off can lead to better problem solving. Effective communication is key. Dr. Gary Chapman, in The 5 Love Languages, emphasizes the importance of expressing feelings calmly. Using I statements instead of you statements can reduce defensiveness and promote understanding. It's also helpful to set a time to revisit the discussion. Dr. Terry Orbick suggests scheduling a calm moment to address the issue. This ensures the conflict is resolved and not ignored. Another strategy is to practice active listening. Dr. Helen Fisher, in Why We Love, notes that truly hearing your partner's perspective fosters empathy. This understanding can lead to more meaningful resolutions. Agreeing to disagree can also be a valid approach. Dr. John Gottman found that not all conflicts need a resolution. Sometimes, acknowledging differences and moving on is the healthiest choice. Chapter 6: Change is Impossible, the Myth of Unchangeable Partners. Many believe that people can't change in relationships. However, psychologists argue that growth and change are possible with mutual effort. Dr. John Gottman's research shows that couples can evolve together through understanding and support. Change requires a willingness to grow. Dr. Sue Johnson, in Hold Me Tight, explains that partners need to support each other's personal development. This mutual support fosters a dynamic and evolving relationship. A study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that couples who encourage each other's growth report higher satisfaction. They feel more connected and committed to their relationship. One strategy is to set shared goals. Dr. Gary Chapman, in The 5 Love Languages, suggests that working towards common objectives can strengthen the bond. These goals can be personal or related to the relationship. Open communication about desires and needs is also crucial. Dr. Terry Orbick emphasizes the importance of discussing personal aspirations. Understanding each other's goals helps in providing the right support. It's also important to celebrate small changes and achievements. Dr. Helen Fisher, in Why We Love, notes that acknowledging progress, no matter how small, keeps the momentum going. This positivity reinforces the effort put into growth. Another approach is to seek professional help if needed. Dr. John Gottman found that couples therapy can provide tools for effective communication and conflict resolution. Professional guidance can facilitate meaningful change.